let's take the practice test together. So let's start with the practice test A for listening. So in the practice test, it's a little bit different from the actual test. In the practice test, you actually have the option to move back and review and change your answers previously. But in the actual test, pag nag-move forward ka na, hindi na pwede mag-return back. Plus, whatever time left for the question, hindi na maki-carry over to the actual test. So, yeah. So let's do listening. So again, meron naman siya on the official test. Once you leave a page, you cannot go back to change it. However, in the sample test, pwede. You can also learn more about the test format. And the order of the questions may be different, but to be honest, medyo similar siya. So, yan.
Listening test instructions. The listening test is about 50 minutes. There are 6 parts in the listening test. You will have about 6 minutes to listen to each passage and answer the questions. The passage will be played once. Left-click on the mouse to select your answer. Practice question. There is one practice question. Listen to a short conversation. The passage will be played once. Then listen to the question and choose the best answer.
Then you'd have to click next. Kahit sa test, ganun din.
Unfortunately, I missed the concert last night.
So here it will tell you kung ilang seconds remaining for that question. And then again, the question is choose a sentence that is closest to meaning to this statement. So from what I heard, it seems like the narrator did not attend the concert. So you also have to look kung ano yung mga cancel out na answers possible.
Listening to problem solving. You will hear a conversation in 3 sections. You will hear each section only once. After each section, you will hear 2 or 3 questions. You will hear the questions only once. Choose the best answer to each question.
So I'll show my notes and how I do my note-taking via Excel since nasa PC, but really in actual, dapat you write it down. I'll share a sample of my notes para makita niyo kung gaano siya kagulo. But for now, for this video, I'll do my note-taking and siguro yung layout of my notes via Excel. So may instruction muna. So there, may sabi niya na conversation between a woman and a man. So woman, man, lahat ng description na makukuha ko, I actually put it down. And then from there, that's before I press next. So the woman is trying to get somewhere, okay? So again, the first part will be divided into 3 sections.
This is the last stop. Watch your step on the way out, ma'am.
Thanks, driver. Do you happen to know where the little kids' playground is? I know it's in the park somewhere. Too bad I forgot my smartphone.
There are a few playgrounds here. Do you mean the one next to the water fountain?
No, the one I'm thinking of is just beside the petting zoo. You know, where there's goats and rabbits?
Yeah, I know there's a petting zoo, but I don't know where it is exactly. Anyway, I'm pretty sure there's a children's playground over there, past the restaurant. Maybe you could take a look over that way?
Okay, great. Sounds good. Thanks very much.
So I try to I distinguish sino yung nag-uusap, ano yung role nila, and siguro ano yung bits of conversations na nakuha ko. I didn't get everything, but I think most of it, if you can write it down, that would be helpful.
Question 1.
What is the woman eventually hoping to find?
So she was looking for the little kids' playground. So she did talk about the water fountain, the petting zoo, but eventually what she wanted to look for is the playground. So again, for the first part, you will only hear the questions. So, kailangan pakinggan nyo rin yung questions.
Question 2.
What best describes the driver's response?
So, best described. So, this is more inference to the conversation. It's really not there. He isn't interested. Interested naman siya kasi nakikipag-usap siya. He makes a guess. Technically, yes, because he said in the conversation, he said he's not sure, but he was still trying to help the lady. So, he refuses to help. Hindi naman kasi nagsabi din siya. He shows the way hindi rin kasi hindi nga siya sure. Then you press next.
Question 3.
What will the woman probably do next?
So, what will she probably... Ang binigay na instruction is over there past the restaurant. So, most likely, siguro, she will look for the restaurant para makita niya yung little playground. Next part of the conversation, you have 8. So, continuous siya. So, you can continue din sa notes mo.
Oh, it's you again. What a coincidence. Are you finished work for the day?
No, I wish. I've got a half-hour break before my next trip, so I thought I'd get out of the bus and get some fresh air. My directions didn't help, eh? Are you lost?
Yes, I've been looking, but I don't see any signs or maps posted.
Tell you what, I'll look up the map on my smartphone. Yikes, you're nowhere near the playground. It's way on the other side of the park.
Oh no, I have to meet someone there really soon.
Yeah, looks like quite a hike. If you walk, you'll be late. But it says here that a free shuttle bus goes there every 5 minutes. That must be it over there, see?
Do you mean that green bus?
That big one? No, that's a tour bus. The shuttle bus would be the little red one.
So again, I'm trying to capture all of the information, woman, man, between the passenger and the bus driver.
Question 4.
How did the woman meet the man again?
So technically, it wasn't shared how they met. So you have to kind of take the best guess here. So they were both looking at the sign, hindi naman. They were both lost in the park, possible because the driver said he went out of the bus during his half-hour break. So I will choose that they were both lost in the park. Or he was taking a walk in the park. I guess maybe he was taking a walk in the park.
Question 5.
Which statement is true?
So she was looking for her smartphone, not true. She walked to the far right side of the park, no. He helped her by using a smartphone, yes, because sinabi ng driver na he will check the map on his smartphone. Next.
Question 6.
How should the woman get to the playground?
So to get to the playground, ang sabi sa kanya to take the little red bus na shuttle bus. So follow posted maps and sign. Wala nga daw, diba? It's in the conversation. Take the green bus in 5 minutes. No, because that's a tour bus. Walk to the far side of the park. No rin. So get on the little red shuttle bus is the right answer. Then you'll hear the third part of the conversation. Sorry, I keep opening the wrong document. Okay.
You're back. What happened? I thought you were catching the shuttle bus.
I tried to, but it was broken down and out of service. There were lots of angry people, I can tell you.
I'm glad you aren't one of them. Hop on then. You've got the bus all to yourself. I'm leaving now. I'll drop you off at the north gate.
Is that near the playground?
Yup. I checked because I don't want to give bad directions again. Sorry about that.
So where should I go when I get off the bus?
Okay, here's the deal. The north gate is right outside the petting zoo. Walk straight through the petting zoo and you'll see the playground right behind it. You'll be there in 5 minutes.
So I won't be late after all.
So, mas mabilis i-type than isulat. So, you really have to practice how to write these things down.
Question 7.
Why does the bus driver tell the woman he is glad?
So again, di naman explicitly said, but by inference, you will know that the bus driver was glad because she, the passenger, did not seem angry because she didn't take the red bus. His other riders and accept she did not seem angry. Sinabi niya yun, no, sinabi niya na lots of people angry and the bus driver is glad na she isn't.
Question 8.
Will the woman go to the playground?
Will the woman go to the playground? Yes, she'll arrive there on time. Kasi sinabi niya na at the end she said she won't be late after all. So that's the right answer.
Listening to a daily life conversation. You will hear a conversation followed by 5 questions. Listen to each question. You will hear the question only once. Choose the best answer to each question.
So again, the second part, no text, just audio. So you'll have to listen and take down a lot of notes. So again, meron siyang intro. So this is a conversation between 2 co-workers. Woman is having some challenges finishing the project. So I will put that in. Convo between 2 co-workers. So woman, di natin alam kung woman ba yung kausap niya or man din, but we can put here that challenge finishing a project. So again, you have to take down as much notes as you can.
You don't look so good, Anne. You look pale. Is everything all right with you?
I'm okay. I just haven't slept much lately, and I guess it's starting to show. I've been working on a couple of projects, and the work is taking much longer than I thought it would. I've been up most nights writing the reports that are due the next week.
You should get some more sleep. Why don't you finish the reports after work, before you go home for the day?
I can't. I have to pick up my son at the daycare right after work, and when I get home, I have to fix dinner and watch my son until he falls asleep around 10.
That's such a late bedtime.
I know. He's 5 months old, and we are still struggling with bedtime.
Can your husband help you?
He helps around the house a lot. He takes care of the cleaning, the laundry, and cooks breakfast after work every day. But I'm on my own with the bedtime routine, unfortunately.
Breakfast after work?
Yes, he works the night shift. He gets home around 6:30 in the morning, and he cooks us breakfast before he goes to bed.
Sounds like a very stressful situation. Can you ask for an extension on the project?
It is pretty stressful, but I can't really ask for an extension. I'm being considered for a promotion, and I'm afraid that if I ask for one, my boss might think I'm not competent to take on more responsibilities. I don't want to risk my chances. And if I get the promotion, my husband will be able to work day shifts again, which would be more convenient for our family.
Is there anything I can do to help you?
Not really, but thanks for the offer. My husband is taking Friday off, and my mom is picking up my son for the weekend so I can finish the reports and hopefully get some sleep.
So all those notes from the 2-minute conversation, and again, I'm typing much faster than writing it down, so you really have to practice how to write it down sa notes mo.
Question 1.
Why was the man concerned?
So concerned siya because Anne looked pale and out of there. She didn't look angry. She looked unwell, pwede. She looked sad, hindi naman. And because the woman did, all because the woman looked unwell.
Question 2.
What did the man suggest?
So the man suggested work after work before going home for the day. So he suggested that the woman stay after work hours. He suggested that the woman ask her husband for help. He suggested the woman take her work home or so. So technically what he first initially suggested was the woman to stay after work hours to finish the project.
Question 3.
Why hasn't the woman slept lately?
She hasn't slept. Ang dami nangyari sa buhay niya. But really, she hasn't slept dahil she's trying to meet her project deadline. Okay.
Question 4.
Why can't the woman ask for an extension?
Again, sabi niya she's not going to ask for an extension because she's being considered for a promotion and she's afraid that she will not, it might seem that she's not competent enough. So, main cause is because she's hoping to get a promotion.
Question 5.
What is her husband doing to help her finish the reports?
So, sinabi niya here that the husband will take Friday off. So, from here, he's taking the son away for the weekend. No, that's the mom. He's bringing this non-weekend. No, he's working during the day. He's taking a day off work because he's gonna take the Friday off.
Listening for information. You will hear a conversation followed by 6 questions. Listen to each question. You will hear the question only once. Choose the best answer to each question.
So sa third part, it's still the same. Na you will hear it and then you have to write the notes down. The questions won't come out in text form. You again have to listen very intently para makuha mo what they're trying to say and what they're trying to ask as well. So again, main notes. So conversation, a man is interviewing a woman about perfectionism in the workplace. So I will add that in. So may man, woman, man is interviewing, so siya yung interviewer, and then interviewee, and the subject is perfectionism, which is all given before ako mag-next.
Thanks, Dr. Burns, for speaking to us about perfectionism in the workplace. To get us started, perfection is typically seen as a positive thing. I mean, to be perfect is to make something the best it can be. However, do you think perfectionism is always positive?
Well, not always. Although perfectionism is generally associated with success, it can also be very negative.
Can you explain more about that?
Our study has found that perfectionists tend to spend much more time on a task than non-perfectionists.
Isn't the quality of the work better the longer you spend on a task?
Not necessarily. Because perfectionists have such a high standard, they devote too much attention to details. In our study, it was common for perfectionists to run out of time and fail to complete their tasks. We also found that perfectionists had difficulties sharing work. Perfectionists tended to do all the work by themselves.
Did that create problems in the workplace?
Most definitely. First, we found that perfectionists are having trouble staying employed in large companies. They are seen as less cooperative and less capable. Second, we found that perfectionists feel more socially isolated. This leads me to our third main finding. Those who strive for perfection in the workplace are more prone to severe anxiety and even depression.
Is it fair to say that perfectionism causes stress and may even cause depression?
No, it is not a direct cause. We believe time management is the key to this puzzle. Our participants' anxiety and feelings of depression were often associated with fear of not having enough time to finish the task.
So, if they managed their time better, anxiety and depression could subside.
We believe so, and that's the focus of our next research project.
That is fascinating. Until then, any advice for perfectionists?
I'd say to start with a careful and realistic plan. Prioritize what is needed to bring a project to completion and not spend too much time on details. I'd also suggest that they try to work in groups and discuss their difficulties with other people.
So again, all that notes for 2 minutes of conversation. Get as much as you can.
Question 1.
What is the woman's occupation?
So she was actually doing studies, so most likely she is a business manager. No. She's a family doctor. No. She most likely is a researcher, I think. Then she's a journalist.
Question 2.
What does the woman say about perfectionists in her study?
So then you go back to your notes. What does she say about perfectionists? But if you look at it, they are always persevering and successful. No, she didn't say that. The work is much better because of their higher standards. No, she actually said otherwise. They are productive in group environments. No, that's not true also. And so you can eliminate answers that for sure hindi na totoo. So they often fail to complete tasks at work, which is what she said also.
Question 3.
According to the woman, what can perfectionism in the workplace do?
So what can perfectionism in the workplace? Trouble staying employed, less capable, socially isolated. So it can be affect job stability and social life from this.
Question 4. Why do perfectionists feel anxious?
She did say that it's the poor time management, which is also the next topic of her next study.
Question 5.
What does the woman suggest perfectionists should do?
So what should they do is take time off, hindi niya sinabi yun. Prioritize tasks, she did say that. And these two are the opposite of what her recommendation for perfectionists to do.
Question 6.
What is the focus of the woman's next project?
Time management skills and lowering anxiety. She said that towards the end.
Listening to a news item. You will hear a news item once. It is about 1.5 minutes long. Then 5 questions will appear. Choose the best way to complete each statement from the drop-down menu.
So sa part 4, you will listen to the news item, but the questions will be shown on the screen. So you need to read the questions. So medyo umiba yung test format a little bit from the first 3 parts. Okay, let's go through it. So here, my intro again, it's going to be a unique medical procedure.
Scientists from Bionic Vision Australia reported that they were successful at implanting the world's first artificial eye. This eye is a very small computerized device that allows patients who lost their eyesight to have some vision. Diane Ashworth, who lost her sight 10 years ago, was the first of 3 patients to receive the device. Dr. Allen states Diane's early results are very promising and expects 2 more patients will receive the eye by the end of this year. Meanwhile, Diane Ashworth spoke to reporters about the moment when scientists turned the device on. She described it as an amazing experience and told reporters she hoped that 2 other patients will have similar results. Diane has not regained her full sight yet. She is only able to see shapes, such as the outlines of objects, and to detect movement. According to Dr. Allen, who installed the device, the present device is just a prototype. The prototype will be switched for a much better and clearer artificial eye in 3 more years.
So I got what I could. Sorry about that. May nabukas na naman akong iba. So here, the listening part 4, you have to read the questions and actually pick which one from the drop-down menu it will complete the sentence best. So the news item is about an Australian doctor, a medical breakthrough, an eye disease, a computer program. Yaman sinabi na Australian siya. Medical breakthrough because it is a new artificial eye. Di rin sinabi eye disease, a computer program, so I will choose medical breakthrough. Second question, before the surgery, Diane was unable to see with either eye. Sinabi naman na completely blind siya, so to see with either eye. With the prototype, Diane won't be able to see the details kasi it said kanina and it's in our notes na not yet full sight. She can only see the shape and outline and movement only, so she won't be able to see the details. Diane's prototype will soon be So sinabi din natin here, Dr. Allen said that the prototype will be, it's only a prototype and it will be switched to a better one in 3 years. So here, it's going to be replaced. The other two patients, sabi by end of the year pa naman sila i-install ng eye. So, have not yet received their prototypes. There. Then you click next.
Listening to a discussion. You will watch a 2-minute video, then 8 questions will appear. Choose the best way to answer each question.
So for the listening part 5, again, iiba yung test format. This time, there's a 2-minute video. And it's going to be a conversation. So you have to get as much details as you can again. So here, you'll watch a discussion between 3 people at a cafe. They belong to a conversation club where some members are improving their English and some are improving their French. So here, I would put 2-minute video, 3 people in cafe, and they are talking about conversation club, then English, French. Okay, so alam ko na may person 1, person 2, person 3. So when I write my notes, tatlong bucket din yan. So
Well, that was a good session, eh? All 24 members present, 8 conversation groups of 3, a full house. How'd it go for you, Diane?
Our group spoke French for more than half the time. 40 minutes of French and 20 minutes of English. But hey, I'm not complaining. I need all the French I can get.
Hey, your French is just as good as mine. Keep practicing. A few more weeks and you'll sound like Nicholas here.
And remember, it's even harder for the allophones here. I mean, they're learning a third language.
Allophones?
They're people whose first language isn't English or French. Like Marta, she's an allophone. She grew up speaking Ukrainian, then she learned English, and now she's trying to pick up French.
Marta was in my group. She's amazing. Her French is way better than mine. She said her friend wants to join.
Well, that makes 6 new members who want to join, and they're all allophones. Problem is, we can't ask people to start bringing their own chairs. Maybe we need to look at a bigger restaurant.
I think we should just limit the membership to 24. Can't we start a wait list? There's enough turnover. Colleen and Liam are going back to Germany next week.
The thing is, if you put prospective members on a wait list, they might just join a different club. I know from working at the community center, wait lists are unreliable. You can have 6 people on a wait list. But when you call them, none of them are interested anymore. So, when people ask to join, we should let them in right away. How about meeting at a separate location on different nights?
Well, if all the new members are allophones, maybe we should change the format. Right now, each conversation group has 1 native English speaker, 1 native French speaker, and 1 allophone. But maybe in the new location, it should just be for allophones.
No, we need to mix them in with native speakers, like we're doing now. The allophones kind of inspire the others by their example, and they're great translators. For the next little while, we'll just have some groups with 3, some groups with 4, until we get more native speakers in. We'll need to find a second location for a meetup on alternate nights. Some people can meet on Tuesdays and Saturdays. The new group could meet Wednesdays and Sundays.
So like that, hindi ko nakuha lahat sometimes, but it's fine. Do what you can, and it will help hopefully. So again, so listening part 5, you watched a video, and then you also need to read the question and fill up, choose the best word or phrase that will best answer the question. So what is the main topic being discussed? What to learn, where to meet, whether to grow, and whom to invite. Towards the end, I think they were talking about where they would be meeting, so I would choose that. In the discussion, what were the 3 speakers mainly doing? So they were considering their option, disputing a decision, estimating their sharing and growth. I'd say considering their options because they all have different opinions and they were just talking about the different ideas they have. Which say would the man in the sweater probably agree with? So man in the sweater, so very important na natatandaan natin or na-note down natin what they were wearing. So I didn't write it down, but si Bald Blue was wearing a checkered polo short, and then ito yung naka-sweater. So I would say they were probably talking about Nicholas. So what would he probably agree with? hold hands and stick together. Small is beautiful, less is more. I would say small is beautiful, less is more kasi sabi niya, limit the membership to 24, right? Okay, what best described the woman's attitude toward Marta? So if you look at your notes, si Marta is an allophone whose first language was Ukrainian, then English and French, and she was in the group of the girl, si Dayan, and her French is pretty good. So how was, again, dito explicitly sinabi, but it seemed like the woman's attitude towards Martha was admiration. She liked na Martha knew how to speak French really well. And who must be the best speaker of French? Here's a start pa lang. Sabi niya na need French and then good, and then the bald guy in blue said na, oh, you'll be as good as Nicholas. So I would say it's Nicholas, who is the man wearing a sweater. What is definitely true of the club's allophones? So they talked about it na mas marami ng allophones in the group than native speakers, so they outnumber the other two groups. And then what do the man and woman in the sweater disagree on? I think it would be changing the format and doing the wait list. So the man in red was saying na they should come up with a wait list, and the woman was saying hindi siya effective pag may wait list. So here, oh, it's not even in the, oh, there, keeping wait list, there. What does the man wearing short sleeves agree to do, which is the bald blue guy? So he said na to start additional meetups at a second location. Yung sabi niya sa last na there'll be 2 different schedules because the group is growing.
Listening for viewpoints. You will hear a report once. It is about 3 minutes long. Then 6 questions will appear. Choose the best way to answer each question from the drop-down menu.
So here, if I'm not mistaken, you will again, mag-iba na naman the format. You have to listen to the conversation or the report, and then 6 questions will appear, so you'll see it. Here, so ito, again, may intro, so I will put that in. So, controversial bill, reduce jail time. Prisoners. Okay.
A new bill proposed by Paul Carter from the New Democratic Party is bound to stir a great deal of controversy. Mr. Carter, who represents a project called Reading for Freedom, proposes a novel way to approach jail terms. Some prisoners would be able to shorten their sentences by up to 36 days a year by reading books. Inmates in provincial prisons in Ontario would receive 3 days off their sentence for each book they finish reading. They could choose from a selection of 12 works of literature, philosophy, science, and classics, such as Shakespeare and Tolstoy. But reading alone would not be sufficient. In order to demonstrate that prisoners have read and comprehended each work, they would be required to write an essay that must make use of paragraphs, proper grammar, and spelling. Prisoners' access to the program would depend on the type of crime they committed, and also prisoners' behavioral record after incarceration. The key purpose of the project is to reduce conflict among prisoners and encourage personal development. Though innovative, the project has already met strong opposition from politicians, law enforcers, and the general public. Many wonder how reading novels can genuinely prepare prisoners for real life after being reintroduced in society. They ask how reading Shakespeare could help the prisoners find jobs after prison. Finally, some, like Evelyn Breach, a political science student at the University of Toronto, questioned how fair the system would be for those who are already disadvantaged. People who did not have access to proper education in the first place, or are not fluent in the English language, would not be able to read these books. This would be unfair for many Aboriginals and immigrants. According to Evelyn, the program does not give equal opportunities to everyone, and could further victimize the ones whom the system has already failed. Chris Kendi, who directs the library system at penitentiaries in Ontario, is more optimistic about the project and says the main strength of the program is that it can change the prisoner's viewpoint. He says an inmate can leave prison more bitter and knowledgeable about crime, or enlightened by the world and the meaning of life. He adds that in his 20 years of experience working in prison libraries, he has seen books absolutely change people's lives, and he truly believes this program will do just that. The first reading of the provincial legislature is scheduled for Thursday, and the debate will continue in the weeks to come, when representatives from the general public and different branches of government are consulted. If the bill passes, it will come into force as early as next year across the province.
Oh, daming notes. So, again, you really have to practice writing it down kasi mas mabilis talaga siyang i-type. And my notes are like super gulo all the time kasi nga mga ganun yung notes ko. You really have to practice it. So, let's continue. So, this is a story about sinabi naman nila, a proposed law to reduce some prisoner sentence. Again, hindi naman pa siya law, hindi pa naman siya about the specific prisoner. So, proposed law to reduce some prison sentence. And then prisoners' access to the program would depend on their, I think we wrote that, access will depend on the crime committed and behavioral record. So, frequency at the prison's library, no. Crime and behavior in jail, yes. The purpose of the project is to, and I think we wrote that down, the purpose... Key purpose is to reduce conflict and encourage personal development. So dito, diminish conflict and promote personal growth. So same meaning, different words. So you also have to look for context clues. Like conflict is the same, and personal growth, personal development. Critics argue that the project, critics argue, so ano yung mga complaints of the other people, should focus more on recent literature, penalizes those with poor English skills, creates conflict. So I think here, specifically kay Evelyn Breach, not fair for people who are disadvantaged and not fluent in English, so I will go for penalizes those with poor English. Then Chris Kendi, who, by the way, super mali yung spelling ko. But it's okay. So long as ikaw yung nakaintindi, it's fine. Because hindi naman siya check yung spelling sa listening part. Who worked in the prison for libraries for 20 years, believes that the project will fail, will help, will transform, will make prison administration. So here I will choose for will transform some prisoners' lives because sinabi ni Chris na 20 years in prison library and he has seen that how books change people's lives. If the bill becomes law, it will next year across the province yung nasa notes ko. So it will say apply to the whole province. Yes. Apply to the whole country. No. Be debated. Law na nga siya by then. So apply to the whole province. Okay. And then once you're done with your practice test, what's nice again about taking the CELPIP and using this as a good kind of foundational basic is malalaman mo kung tama ba yung mga sinagot mo or hindi. So here you can go through all the questions. The answer key is to the left and then to the right is the answer na you made. So if nagkamali kayo, you can always go back. So for example, this listening part 5, listening to a discussion, I answered where to meet, pero dapat pala whether to grow ang sagot. So mali ako doon. So you can always go back. And then when you click next sa taas, you'll also get, it will take some time to load, but you also get, so from the number of questions na tinanong for listening, ano yung score mo and what is your appropriate or approximate, CELPIP score. which would really help you. So if alam mo na from the practice test pa lang medyo mababa na your score, then you know na you're not yet ready and you'll have to keep taking the practice tests. Yeah, hopefully that helps.